Hi, this is the intermediate part of the course Mastering Search Engine Optimization or SEO. I'm Farhad Aftekari and I'm the teacher of this course. Here are course links where you can find course material. And here are also some typographical conventions that we use throughout the slides of this course. Make sure to get familiar with them. You may encounter them at the bottom of the slides. Each of them means something, so get familiar with them and use them. And here is a difficulty level indicator. The material of the course has been divided into three different categories: easy, moderate, and hard. And it's up to the student how deep they want to dig their knowledge. And here is a slides framework. Here's the title, difficulty level indicator gonna be here, slide numbers, and here you may encounter code in slides that if you enter them instead of this part code, you will be redirected to exact a certain part of the tutorial video about that certain slide. And the content and also course name, section name, and those icons that in the previous slide you got familiar with. The content of this part are the following. Things that matters about search engine optimization, HTML head and body tags, page titles, meta tags, URLs structure, site navigation, headings, content, hyperlinks, images, having meaningful error pages, and the concept of web and mobile. So these are the ways that we apply some methods in order to increase the level of search engine optimization of our website to make sure the search engines, when they are crawling into our websites and web pages, they dedicate better ranking for us for our websites and web pages. So by definition, SEO stands for search engine optimization. And here also, as we mentioned in the content part, the things that matters, and we're going to cover during this part of the slides. As a very brief introduction to HTML head and body tags, here is an example. I do not expect people to be professional in like web designing or web developing, get to know about HTML. It's really nice to know this knowledge because if you have this knowledge, then you can apply them when you're developing and designing a web page or website. But don't worry, if you don't know anything about that, well, this course can also be a motivation for you to try to find out more about this stuff. Uh, it's nice to be familiar with the concept, but for applying them as a designer, as a developer, you definitely need to gain some skills in like working with HTML and related technologies as well. But I try to make it simple, try to make you familiar with, very briefly, make you familiar with all the concepts. So yeah, don't worry if you don't know, and I also try not to make it boring for the people that are already familiar with them. So if you consider a web page like this human being, is a character of the cartoon animation, I guess, Ice Age. I forgot his name, but if you consider it as a web page, then the whole part is HTML, and then we have this head part, and then we have this body part. Well, it's not a very accurate example, but just for fun to consider. So when we are loading an HTML page, the head part is the first spot that's being loaded in browser. And then after that, the body part will be received and being shown. And this is an example of a HTML sample code. Here we have to start the HTML tag, and then here at the end we have to close it. And then we divide this HTML tag into two different parts, head and body. So we start with opening a head tag, and then we can include our title and meta tags and the other parts that later we're going to be introduced and familiar with. And then in body section, then the page content going to be shown. Yeah, you can also try to create an HTML file. You can also use Notepad. You don't really need a very sophisticated application or software to create HTML files. Try to create a sample HTML file and then name it as index.html and then try to open it with the browser. But if you want to understand HTML a little bit more, I place one of my tutorial slides as a tutorial which I created in the year 2013 in the file sections. You can also get to know more about the HTML elements and properties and some very intermediate or introduction material and content related to HTML. But if you want to gain the deeper knowledge in those areas about HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, I also offer one course related to them. The name of the course is Developing Modern Web Platforms, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and it has 3 credits. So if you are interested to get to know more, or if you're interested in web designing and web developing, then you can start with that course as well. So to start with, every page has a page title. It can have a page title. It's better to have a page title instead of not having a page title. Page title, well, create a unique and well-written page title is very essential for search engine optimization. So page titles are primary information being shown in search results. And later in the example, we're going to see how. And then you can also define your page titles by using title tag in HTML code. So in the center of this head tag, you can also include this exact part like title tag, open, and then your title, whatever it is, and then close the title tag. So by this way, your page gonna have a title, and then browser also gonna show this title to a user, and then search engines gonna also index and save this information under data centers as well. And the page title needs to be accurately described to page content. So make sure that you select the title that is relevant to your content. Otherwise, then it's going to be a little bit weird for search engines when they're crawling your website, and also for definitely for users when it's irrelevant. And definitely avoid page titles duplications. So don't use your, for instance, your own name or your company name in all of the pages as a page title. Try to use, for instance, your company name and then dash about, or company name dash contact for the contact page, or company name dash products or photo gallery, or whatever is relevant to your content. That's definitely the point that you have to consider when you are creating your web pages and you're like allocating some titles to those pages as well. And do not use page titles to represent your whole content. It has to be short, brief, and just as a very short description of the whole thing as a title. So the title and content has to be different. Like I said, make it brief but descriptive. And also important keywords close to the front. So the more closer to the front part of the title your important keyword are, the better is for search engines to crawl and understand them. Because individually, one by one, they analyze these keywords inside of the title. So the more important ones, it's better to be on the front side. Yeah, and try to also include a page title for that certain file that you created with Notepad or whatever application that you're using to create a page. And here is an example. For instance, when you're searching for Metropolia University, then the result here, you can see that on the result page, the title of the page will be shown. which is exactly this page that the URL is, and also some description. But the title is the part that's going to be shown here on the top of the result. So also users and visitors, when they are searching for material online, gonna encounter those titles and then try to decide if they want to click on them or not. And then if you click on any result on here in the, for instance, Google search results, then you can see the exact title that you see here is the title of the page. So that's how it's really important, the concept of page titles and selecting accurate page titles, both for Google or any search engine crawlers, and also the users when they enter some keywords and then see among all of these results which one suit them the best. And now let's get familiar with meta tags. There are two different meta tags that is directly related to search engine optimization. One is description tag and the other one is keywords tag. So every page can have this head tag. In the head tag, you can have these meta tags. The head tag in HTML, as I told you, is the first part that will be loaded. So the content of the head tag could be page title, description, meta tags, and keyword meta tags are all in head tag as well. And then snippets usually coming from description meta tags. So snippets are those short descriptions after page titles in search results. Uh, well, it's really nice to summarize the content of your page in description meta tags. So when you place this meta tag inside of this head tag, then you can start with this exact style here. So we have meta name, description. So it means the meta tag is description tag, and then your content here. So you can have a very short and brief description about your page, not your website, your page that you're saving here. Then those snippets in the search result also going to be shown here. So here also we have this meta tag keywords, meta name, keywords, and then your content here. So you can place relevant keywords about your page here in this keyword tag as well. And try to add these two description tag and keywords tag in your HTML page. Make sure to place them inside of your head HTML tag. And here the page title is coming from the results here you can see, and also these snippets, also description meta tag of that certain page. So they are really important. They are like the thing that advertise your website or web page in this search engine result page. So make sure to select something relevant and well described, very nice style of writing. If it's in English or Finnish or any other language, make sure to have a very like practical and beneficial way of like writing, and then using proper and relevant keywords and sentences. All right, now let's talk about URLs structure. URL stands for Uniform Resource Locator, and URLs are the addresses for documents on the web. Easy to read for users, then it means they are easy to read for search engines as well. Uh, it's better for them to be simple to understand, make it easier to crawl for search engines, and also URLs will be displayed in search results, as you may see in the next example, and also in the previous example you saw it as well. So this is also an opportunity for you to select something meaningful, and of course, when it's shorter, it's better. We talked about some concepts about making something like related and relevant to your page. Also, it applies for your URLs. So as you can see here, why the descriptive URL is important, minimizing length and trailing slashes will make your URLs easy to copy and paste as well. And always avoid using default names like name page 1, page 12. Anything that is default is not really interesting for both users and search engines. And then using directory names that have no relation to the content in them is a thing that you have to always avoid. For instance, let me give you an example. You have the directory name of photos, and then you have some news as a page there. Then this is definitely a no. And when like search engines and users are browsing in your website, lowercase is equal to uppercase. So page.html is equal to p capital H.html. And when you want to separate words in your uh, page name, make sure to separate them with hyphen, not underscores, not plus signs, and not a space. Here you can see two example of a URL structure. Well, the first one, as you can see here, when you read it, well, you see articles directory and then educations, Finland education system statistics. Very easy to read. When you look at it, you completely know what's going on there. Well, this is our domain name. The section must be articles and then something related to educations, the articles in this category, and then this is the title of the article. But if you put them in this URL structure, well, you can see here, yeah, of course, they're articles, but then 12 and then 1436. Doesn't mean anything. Doesn't mean anything to a user, doesn't mean anything to search engine. So the first one was a good example, and the second one, of course, was a bad example. And here also in this example, you can see when we search for Metropolitan University, then this is the URL part that's being shown to the users in the search result page. So definitely seize this opportunity and select something meaningful. Now let's talk about site navigation. Uh, for when you want to create a site navigation, first of all, let me tell you what site navigation. A site navigation is a specific page on your website that gives the link to all this primary part of your website, and then as creating some category of like parts of your websites, then you go and create inner like links to your other pages. For instance, imagine you have a page for your company and then you have the page for your about. So your site navigation could be like about, your products, your gallery, news, articles, contact, all of this information. And then in your products, then you have different kind of category of products, and then you mention them, and then after that you mention each product there. So on this single page, you can give links to all the available pages of your website. Then you will make sure that no page is broken and visitors and search engines may have access to them. So this site navigation comes handy under these situations. But do not try to make a puzzle, make something very easy to understand in a very easy to find order, and then don't just put links there for your site navigation. Make it very brief and well written and easy to read. And then if you confuse them, then they will be gone, both of your users and your search engine crawlers. Yeah, so you have to consider that always your homepage is your landing page, and this is the entrance door to your website. And then after, later than that, then users and crawlers can find their way inside of your website. Try to use this breadcrumb list. Breadcrumb is a row of internal links at the top of or bottom of the page that allows visitors to quickly navigate back to a previous section or the other route pages. You definitely have encountered them several times in websites. Imagine you go to an article, and then on top of the page there is the article name, and then on the left side there is a category of articles, and then left side of that is the articles, and then left side of that is the home page. So they call this breadcrumb, and then on a very well written order, both visitors and crawlers can find their way from that page to other parts, especially for upper level links as well. And yeah, give them control, allow them to go back and go forward. Don't make them stuck somewhere. Uh, as your strategy, try to start from general and then go all the way to the details. Don't start with the details and then go to the general parts. Should much better to work like that. And definitely do not use Flash plugins in your links and sitemaps, because this is somehow an outdated technology. Almost no one ever used that again because, well, first of all, search engines cannot dig the information and content inside of your Flash files. So there's no good use to use them, and the content you place them is just visible by a visitor's eyes. But as I said, search engine crawlers cannot find their way out there. And then if you have some links inside of your Flash files, then definitely they cannot be explored. And also, many of the users disable these Flash plugins, so many of them cannot see those contents on your page. And always try to keep it updated. Keep your site navigation, site maps updated, and try to avoid broken links inside of them. Here is the example of Microsoft website sitemap. As you can see, very well written, very in a very nice order. You can see in the categories, and then goes all the way to a little bit more details. So this is very easy to find both for users and search engine crawlers. And there are some common reasons why pages may not be reachable. Uh, First of all, submission required forms. So there are some pages that you ask users to submit some forms in order to get there. Definitely, search engines cannot fill those forms in order to get there. So make sure that if you have some content in some pages that you need and you require users to submit a form, then this is the price that you're paying for these search engine crawlers and some of the users that they're not going to have access to those parts. Or links coming from JavaScript output, so every time it somehow creates those links, so we cannot expect search engine crawlers to get those links out of JavaScript outputs. Or those links has been blocked in robots.txt file, which later we're going to talk about in advanced section. Or we are using frames, which is also an outdated concept. Almost no one using this inline frames or frames anymore. If you are familiar with HTML and you're like a developer for quite a long time, you may use them before, but nowadays it's not really logical to use them anymore. Or links are in pages containing huge amount of links. So this is a very turn off thing for search engine crawlers. So try to create HTML file and name it sitemap.html, and try to, well, create a made up site navigation there as well. You will probably need some HTML knowledge for that. You can also search online or use those contents that I earlier introduced to you. Now let's talk about headings. First of all, the role of heading tags are emphasizing important text. And then this is the way that we have to use heading tags properly. you have to consider that this head tag is not a heading tag. It's different. Head tag, as I told you before, is the first part that's being loaded when the browser is visiting a page. But this H1, H2, H3, and then the other ones are heading tags. So H1 is the biggest heading tag, and then after that, if you have another heading as a title, then we can use H2 and then so on. And there are 6 different sizes, starting from H1 to H6. Try to keep them in order, so every time you're using them, make sure you start with 1 and then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Don't miss any of them. If you're having 1 and then next one will be like 3 and then the other one 2, doesn't make sense. And use them when you really need them. When you want to use some titles, when you want to emphasize some text, do not use them for your content. uh, there is a specific need to use them and make sure to understand that and use that. And it's a title, not a container, as I told you. It's not for content, it's for putting titles there. And here is a sample of placing all of these 6 headings in your HTML page. And it should contain in your body tag. Do not put it in your head tag. It's a little bit confusing, the name, but that's the way it is, some convention that we are using in HTML. Try to add a few headings in your HTML file as well. And now let's talk about the importance of content. Content is the reason you have visitors. So always try to take good care of them, try to create beneficial content. It's the first priority. The quality of your content is the most important factor which will have a positive impact on search engine optimization. And avoid content duplication. Just because you can copy paste content doesn't mean that's nice to have like very huge bulk of content in your website. Try to be efficient, try to just have a specific content for each of your pages. Don't overuse them, don't just try to write whatever you can, because they're much smarter search engines and they can understand if you're duplicating contents or copy pasting from some other source. And if you consider creating a new useful service that no other site offers, then the uniqueness of that service will probably make your website, web page, or product successful. And try to write easy to read text. Avoid writing a sloppy text with many spelling and grammatical mistakes. It's bad for your visitors. It's bad for search engine crawlers. They will understand it. And avoid putting your text in image files because search engines cannot access the content inside of your image files. It's not really reasonable and expect them to use this OCR concept in order to get the content of your page. It doesn't work like that. So try to have your text as a normal text and your images as your images. And more is not necessarily equal to better. So dumping large amount of text on varying topics onto a page without paragraph, subheading, or layout separation and make your content organized and related to its topics. And your target is your visitors, not search engines. So don't fool yourself that create a website for search engines, because even if you be successful and then the ranking of your website become top, and then visitors, after coming to your website, they understand the content is not really useful for them. They're not going to come back to your website. Try to add some content to your HTML file just to have this experience of putting content there as well. And as I told you, content probably will be redirected and lead to search engine optimization, good ranking. And now let's talk about hyperlinks. Anchor text tells users and search engines something about the page you are linking to. Anchor texts are some description about the links that you're offering to your visitors and your search engine. So try to avoid cliche, like avoid writing generic anchor text like page, article, or click here. Try to make it meaningful, something about the title of your page or something that you're redirecting your users to. And title could be useful. Avoid using the page URL as the anchor text in most cases. Instead, you can use the linked page title, as I told you. And make it visible. By using CSS and styles, make your links easy to spot, not hidden, and short and descriptive as well. An important keyword close to the front, like that concept in titles. And try to discuss with your peer or yourself, think about that, and guess what percentage of all the content in the internet are spam. That would be a nice guess. Well, the answer is 60% of the content of the whole content of internet are spam. So we expect search engines to be smart and try to somehow validate the content of your website to see if it's on the 16% side or 40% side. And here is the anatomy of a link. Here is a link that you can see, a hyperlink. Started with A and then href, your link, and then your anchor text here. So this is the start of the tag, this is the link, and this is your anchor text of the link. And then this is the closing tag that you have to use in order to close the hyperlink. And try to add hyperlinks to your HTML file as well. Now let's talk about images. Image tags have alt property. The alt attribute allows you to specify alternative text for the image if it cannot be displayed for some reasons. For instance, definitely you may encounter sometime in browser that you go to a web page, you see some images has not been loaded, but some description on top left part of them has been shown to you. So this is the alt part that has been showing to you. This is nice when you sometimes encounter some problem or there are like internet speed problem. You're showing some content related to that image, and also screen readers can read those alt parts of your images. For instance, for people that have like sightseeing or some problems like that, so that could be also helpful for that as well. And try to create your websites accessible to everyone else, and it could be really nice thing to consider when you are creating a web page, product, or something. Everyone has the right to use that, and it's really nice if you consider that fact as well. And then you can also use your image as link. So when you use images as links, alt acts like anchor text for them as well. And then image search engines are being used just like text search engines. So try to give your images more time to consider when you're placing them with nice images and this written description about them. So you may also have visitors coming from these image search engines. And try to organize your images. Create related directories and have an image directory root like images or img, something related that image search engines can understand that is coming from a directory of images. And try to use commonly supported file types. Most browsers support JPG or GIF or PNG or BMP image formats. And for file names, avoid using general file names like file1.jpg. Try to use something meaningful, just like the title that we describe and just like the page name. And short but understandable. Understandable is supposed to be here. I will fix that. So make your file names descriptive and not long. And here's an example when I go to Google image search engine and look for Metropolia University. These are all the images that related to, well, the main building of Metropolia University of Applied Science. And try to add some images into your HTML file just to have experience of having that as well. Try to have alt property related to that as well. And now let's talk a little bit about meaningful error pages. Meaningful error pages, bringing your users back. Having a meaningful error page is equal to having the opportunity of bringing back your users. So instead of showing something professional or technical, or some error code or description of the error in your back-end side, well, most of the users will not understand what is that, and after encountering them, they will probably close the tab and browser and then go somewhere else on the internet. So try to create a meaningful error page and have some navigation in order to make them back or go to other part of your website. And definitely no technical material. Avoid showing technical to error messages to your users, as I told you. And yeah, as I also told you, collection of links would be fine in your error pages to make them go back somewhere or the other part of your page, website, or parts of the website. And well, there are dead-end searches, so dead-end pages. So when search engines confront a dead-end page or error, this is where they stop crawling, and you don't want to do that. And make them feel good. An error is still a part of your website, so try to come up with a nice design for that. Here is an example of a very good error message and a very bad and awful error message. On the left side, well, they have this in Dropbox.com, and then you can see here there's a very user-friendly and nice error image and text, and then there are some links to help center forums and going back to home. But on the right side, you can see this is just some professional information about the error that happened. It's mostly being used by developers, so no need to show them to your users. And try to also create a meaningful 404 error page. 404 error page is page not found error page. Every error page has a code, and 404 stands for this page not found errors. The last topic that we're going to talk about in the intermediate part of this course is web and mobile concept of the pages. So notify search engines if it's a mobile site or website. So is it for your PC, your tablet, or your mobile? Later we will understand how we can do that. And then redirect from one to another. Have this option for both users and search engines to go from one to the other one for your mobile view and your uh, tablet view or whatever view that you are creating for your web page. And then definitely also have a mobile view sitemap as well. That's also really nice. And then there is no limitation. Do not limit your mobile view only to mobile phones. Sometimes maybe some users on their PCs and tablets, they want to view your site as a mobile view, so you can also have that there. And then try to have similar content for both, but the design could be different, and try to fit your content in the screen that you are visiting from. And try to have the concept of responsive design. Get familiar with the concept of responsive design. This is a very nice and beneficial concept. And here is an example coming from Google that when you both have the desktop contents and mobile content, uh, there are some bots, Google bot visiting your desktop user, and then Google bot mobile visiting your mobile views. So it's exactly like a user coming from using a PC, desktop, tablet, or using a mobile phone. And the advantage of having this responsive design concept, well, you can discuss it with your pair or think with yourself. What could be the advantage of having this responsive design? Responsive design is it can be responsive based on the screen resolution and size that your users have. So try to somehow putting the content in all of these screen resolutions and showing them properly like that. So they don't need to somehow vertically browse your website, only horizontally. So the advantage could be make it easier for users to share and link to your content with a single URL if you are using responsive designs. So if they browse your website with a mobile phone, they will see it as a mobile view. If they visit this link as a desktop, then they will see that page as a desktop view. And it requires no redirection, so that's nice also. You will not have duplicated content on your website in like both pages for PC and then mobile. And less developing and maintenance is to keep up with both editions up to date and makes it much easier and efficient for crawlers to visit them. And search engines more accurately index your website. That's also a very nice concept. Here in this screenshot also you can see that this is an example of a fully responsive web design. For instance, with every different screen resolution, the website can look like this. So here, if you consider this as a logo and then some maybe advertisement or something here, and then the content, and then some other parts here. So as you can see here, all of them are being shown to the user in a very nice way. And here is also an example of a mobile site restricting any access from non-mobile device. We can also try to read it. Then it's kind of obvious what it does, and it's like uh, granting some access to some devices and also denying some access from the other one. So it's granting access to these mobile phones and then denying the other uh, of them that are not in the list. Here also in these links, you can try to read much more about some concepts that we talked about if you want to have it as a further study and gain deeper knowledge in those areas. So this was the intermediate part of search engine optimization course, and the last section will be advanced section. And thank you for your consideration. I hope you have a wonderful class.